Hey folks, Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to World of Warcraft. This is a class picking guide without any discussion on meta, on parsers, anything like that. So if you're into that, if that's the way you play and you're looking for best performing DPS and the best tank and all of that, this is not for you. You're still welcome to watch, of course, but this is for returning players, casual players, new players, people who just play for the love of the game. And maybe you're coming back after a long time, maybe this is your first time playing World of Warcraft, and it's going to be based on TBC because pre-patch is just around the corner. So yeah, if you're going to leave a comment saying, this isn't right, why would you suggest playing this? Well, it's because, yeah, I could say just play Warlock because it's the best DPS and it'll pass the highest and blah, 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 blah. But that's not really that fun, is it? And everyone's going to be playing Warlock, and you know what the channel's about. Rogues get a real bad rap in TBC, mainly because most rogues who have played in Classic are probably going to be rolling into Warlocks because, yeah, their damage kind of drops off at endgame. But we're not really focused on that here at Midventures. So, what is a rogue? What's the fantasy? Well, it's like a stealthy kind of assassin. You feel sneaky, you feel clever, you feel a bit stylish. It's cool. The stealth gameplay, as you can see, we're in stealth at the moment, it kind of makes the game and the world feel a bit different. Whereas, in other classes, you're sort of charging ahead and taking things, head on. You can kind of turn WoW into a stealth game. Suddenly you're sneaking about, trying to get round the back of something. There are certain quest objectives that you can literally just sneak to and complete. Whereas other classes, they will need to sort of fight their way through enemies and the like. It's really cool. And it's quite satisfying to play. It's very button pressy, and it's fast and it's active. And it's great if you're into that kind of class fantasy of playing as a spy or as an assassin or something like that. They are great in PvP. They always have been, probably always will be. I'm sure many of you know the sound of kidney shots hitting you and sort of realizing, well, I've been opened up on a rogue, I'm probably going to die. They're awesome, yeah, and they, even when playing casually, they feel very skill expressive. They feel awesome to play. So yeah, if you want a cool melee focused damage dealer, you'll be playing with your dual daggers or dual other one-handed melee weapons. Stealthing around, you can open chests and open locks. You can poison your blades. Yeah, like you said, you can play like an assassin and open up on people. You can go up straight ahead and sort of duel. It's awesome. It's a really good class to play. Like I said, TBC, they get a bad rap if you're into parsing and the meta and all of that stuff, but they're fun. They're fun, and if that's what you want to play, then go for it. If you want to be a spell slinger, then Mage is the class for you. They are masters of Frost, Fire, and the Arcane. Super flashy. They feel just powerful. They're often called the hero class in Classic just because of everything that they can do. They've got that classic wizard fantasy. It's done really well. Big satisfying spells, big bursty damage. But you've got great utility as well. You've got your own portals. You've got your own teleports. You can make your own food and water, so you're self-sustained. Awesome crowd control. You can control big amounts of mobs, and you've got awesome AoE damage to deal with that. They are the sort of classic, what you would call glass cannon class. Like high risk, high reward. Yeah, you're gonna take a bit of a beating, but you're also gonna just be able to dish out a load of damage. And what's good about them is, depending on what class you get, what spec you go, it really builds into that fantasy. Do you want to be an arcane mage, or do you want to be a fire mage, with big bursts and stuff like that, or do you want to play a frost mage and you're all about sort of control, and it just feels great. I played one to 60. I'm probably going to take the mage through to level 70 at some point. Amazing to solo, just super fun. You'll always be wanted in group content as well. They're just always good to have with buffs and things like that. But you will absolutely steam through the the questing, especially as now that a lot of the elite quests are gone as well. I mean, mages could deal with that, no problem. Anyway, now that that's sort of gone, you'll be fine. And stepping into TBC and into Outlands, you'll continue to just, yeah, rock everyone's world. So yeah, an awesome class if you're in, if you usually in RPGs play spell slingers and wizards and sorcerers, like if that's your kind of, if you like D&D and you're into that kind of stuff, then Mage is the class for you. Paladins get a huge glow up in TBC. They now have things such as Crusader Strike, so you're no longer just sealing and judging. So Retribution becomes a bit more fun to play. Protection, you now get an actual taunt, as well as some extra AoE abilities, which basically makes you one of the best, or if not the best 5-man tank, and possibly the best raid tank as well. They're just awesome. Everything will stick to you. It's really cool to play. TBC is the start of like the Paladin sort of blossoming into like just an awesome class. They just go from strength to strength, like in Wrath as well. It's just, yeah, just amazing. So what is it? It's like a mix of like holy magic and melee combat. So yeah, if you're into that kind of fantasy, being like a protector or a helper of other people, that kind of holy warrior kind of vibe. Great survivability, pretty good class, for new players if you're new to the game. You got your own heal, you'll be able to put out loads of damage, and also you can kind of pick, do you want to be a healer, do you want to be a tank, do you want to be a damage dealer? You can kind of find like what your favourite kind of role is by playing Paladin, which is awesome. Loads of buffs and blessings, you'll feel super useful, and you'll be wanted for those buffs as well. And just satisfying to play. Maybe not as like fast-paced as like the rogue that we talked about, but just, yeah, consistent, good damage. Like I said, amazing tank. You'll be, I promise you'll be getting whispers all the time saying, please come and tank this dungeon for us. And kind of really cool to play in TBC when you think it's a lot of the bad guys, it's all very demony and, like a dark kind of invasion, stuff like that. Playing like a warrior of the light is awesome. I would love to play a Paladin at some point in TBC, but I already have far too many classes that I want to play. But it may be the class for you. Warlocks, I'm sure you've heard it by now, are the king of DPS in TBC. Everyone will be, who wants to pass, wants to get high on those damage meters, will be playing a Warlock, there's no doubt about it. But what about their class fantasy? Well, they are summoners of demons, they are masters of shadow and flame, and they've got a bit of a sinister kind of, dark spellcaster kind of vibe to them. You will get pets, all kinds of pets. Can I show you a pet while we are talking? Yes, I do need a soul shard, but yeah, here we go. Here's a succubus, but you'll get different pets that can do all kinds of different things. And if you choose to spec into demonology, you will buff those pets. There you go. There is Drustai. You will also get the Felguard, which is just a big demon with a big bloody axe that just chops things up. Awesome class fantasy. And these demons are like permanent summons until they die, so it's not like something you have for a little bit. And they all have different utilities depending on the situation. Voidwalker is very tanky. Imp is just like a consistent bit of DPS. Succubus is really good at controlling. Felhunt is good at debuffing. They're all good for different things, but yeah, they're great. The big thing you'll know about Warlocks is probably about their damage over time. That's kind of like one of their main things. Unless you're playing Destruction, where you're focusing on your Shadow Bolts and the likes. But it's really, when you think of Warlock, at least I do, I think of Siphon Life, Corruption, Curse of Agony, and you just put those all on and you just watch their health bars drain. Great for self-sufficient leveling and survivability. You will just fly through everything. You really don't need, take some food. You probably don't need water because you can just life tap and eat food. But to be honest, with Drain Life and Siphon Life, if you spec correctly, you'll be fine. It's always worth taking food and drink, obviously, but yeah, you'll be sustained pretty much through your whole leveling journey. Cool bit of flavour with soul shards, which I just used then. Obviously you need soul shards to summon demons and some of your other abilities, which we've got here. So that's a cool bit of flavour. This eventually leaves, but in TBC, it's still very much there. And yeah, it just feels different to a mage because you're slowly corrupting your enemies. And yeah, you can throw a big shadow bolt and go that way if you want. But yeah, it just feels, I don't know, cruel. You know what I mean? Like, instead of like big bursty damage, you're just slowly like rotting your enemies away. I love Warlock. I played it in original TBC in 2007, had a blast through it. Played it through Wrath as well. Just a great solo experience. And yeah, you'll be absolutely screaming. The people will be screaming for you to get into their raids and into their groups, because yeah, they are kind of the king of the DPS when it comes to endgame stuff, if that is your thing. The Druid's one of the most versatile classes in WoW, as I'm sure you're aware from playing Classic. If you have played Classic, you can, much like the Paladin, you can be a damage dealer, you can be a tank, or you can be a healer, and they are all about being like a protector of nature. You can shift your shape into different forms depending on what you want to do, whether you want to be like a roguey kind of stealthy damage dealer, whether you want to be a big bear tank. I don't think I can swim in this water, but you've got an aquatic form, you've got a travel form, so you can run around quickly even before you get your actual mount. And the awesome thing about Druid in TBC, which might be the big thing, is flying. Now, obviously, all classes get the ability to a flying mount. However, Druids get free flying form, which is awesome, and like I mean, a good reason to roll one, because it's bloody expensive to get your flying mount. But yeah, how awesome is that? So, what's the fantasy? Well, they are, like I said, they're super versatile, and it's all about like nature. And yeah, you can kind of do anything in terms of what kind of damage dealer you want to be. You don't have to be a melee focused damage dealer. You can also be a spellcaster. I don't think I've specced into it. Can I show you this? Is Boomkin form there? It is. Hold on. Let me just... Right, this is not a spec for you guys to follow, okay? I'm just literally just trying to get down there. So I'm sure there's Druid players right now going, why are you picking this? This is not a spec, okay? This is not a spec. I'm literally just clicking everything so I can get down to Boomkin form. There we go. Yeah. I mean, if that's not a reason not to play Druid, then, you know, look at that. And also you can do a little slash dance. And you can do a groovy little dance. But yeah. So Boomkins are the balance spec. They are basically nature spell casters. It's all about the power of the moon and the sun and insect swarms and stuff like that. You've then got feral combat. This will be your either cat DPS or warrior. Well, I guess they are a bit like a warrior, but you know, like the rage tank basically. You're a big meat shield. You will have the biggest HP of any tanks. Awesome single target tanks. Most raids, I imagine, will rock a Druid. I really love Druid tanking as well. It feels super cool. But what's the vibe? Well, yeah, as you can tell, it's a guardian of nature, very much similar to their sort of D&D counterparts. Super immersive in that kind of nature theme, if that's your kind of thing. Awesome ability. Obviously, you can travel around. You know, free flight. You get travel form early. You'll be able to zip around the world, no problem. And yet, you feel so versatile. You've always got like different options, even when you're playing as like. Say, I don't know, you're playing as cat, and then suddenly something goes wrong and you need to get a bit of distance. You can run away. You can then like go into your usual form. You can hit like a few damage dealing spells. You can also then like throw a heal on yourself and then get back into the action. You can go into bear to tank those hits. It's a very awesome way of playing. Like, wow, it's hard to explain. Like, you can just jump about and do different things, even like on like a single like, you know, leveling like encounter on a quest. You could just sit in cat form and press one button over and over again, but yeah, it feels like you've got, I don't know, you're like a switchblade. You've got loads of different options for, you know, you've got a tool for every job. The Hunter may be one of the most popular classes in all of World of Warcraft. They are kings of solo leveling. As you can see, you get your own pets. You can just go and pick a pet that you want, and you can go and train it, and anyone that you see out in the wild, well, not everyone, but most, most beasts are tameable, and you will just absolutely rock the solo content. You can level just with your eyes shut with this. It's an awesome class, and you do mega damage. I believe it's the survival tree. I think survival hunters become like ridiculous, but like beast mastery is awesome. You'll just be putting out a load of damage. You're up there with warlocks, basically. That's who you'll be competing with if you're into the end game stuff. But in terms of like their class fantasy and stuff, I'm sure you can kind of get a feel for it, really. But it's you're a ranger. You're you're like a marksman. You're all about your gun or your bow. And you'll send your pet in, and you'll just like rain hellfire from above. Not actual hellfire, that would be a warlock. But you know what I mean. Like you'll just like a rain of arrows, just like straight onto your unsuspecting enemies. So yeah, you get your permanent pet companion from, I think it's like level 10 is when you can first get one. You'll probably start off with like a boar or a bear or something like that, but you can get many different ones as you go through Azeroth, and indeed you get more interesting ones when you go into Outlands, like this odd little creature. Amazing for solo play and leveling. Just the fastest levelers, always will be, always have been. Great for new players because range combat is really like safe. You can just sit there and you can learn the mechanics of the game while not worrying about like taking too much damage and stuff like that. Lots of utility, lots of like travel convenience. You get like different kind of they're not called auras, they're called aspects. Yeah, so like aspects of pack here. If we had this on and we were in a group, everyone in the group would be moving 30% faster, and all your aspects do different things. So aspect of the hawk, you'll be doing more ranged attack power. Monkey is dodging. So yeah, there's really interesting little tidbits. Traps are a big thing as well. You can also track, as you can see, different kind of things, and they will appear. Like if I press this now, there you can see there's all the humanoids in the local area. So yeah, beast mastery is all about your pet and buffing your pet. Marksmanship is about your ranged prowess, basically. And survival, it's a bit of a unique one. There's a bit more like utility, I suppose, to them. Yeah, so it doesn't really focus on like outward damage or your beasts, but you can there's interesting stuff here. Yeah, it's more of a utility thing, but I believe at least one survival hunter is wanted in a raid. Why? Well, you'll have to go find another video because I don't know. I never claimed to be an expert. But yeah, really cozy class to play. It's not a class I've played a lot of. It's always a class I've played like casually leveling. I've never played like a lot of super endgame stuff with them. I did raid a little bit, I think, in Classic 2000 and whatever it was, 2019 Classic at the end just before TBC, and that was fun. But yeah, really interesting class. And yeah, if you're new to the game, I think most people would suggest trying a hunter because you'll feel nice and safe. You get a cool little pet buddy, and yeah, you'll absolutely just you'll rock World of Warcraft. Perhaps my most played and favourite class in World of Warcraft, the Humble Priest. Why should you play a priest? Well, there's lots of reasons. They are, in my opinion, one of the best healers in the game. They're super versatile. They've got heals over time. They've got heals that bounce all over the place. They've got just big, greater heals, amazing just for like throwing up on the tank. But I believe they are super wanted in raids because of one talent. I think it's a talent. It may not be. I may be lying. No, I'm not. Circle of Healing is basically the best raid heal in the game. And it's awesome. So, what are the class fantasies of the Humble Priest? Well, there's two. Well, I mean, there's three specs, obviously, but I think there's two kind of ways you can look at it. You can either be sort of a priest of the light, whether that's through the Holy Tree, which is all about healing, discipline. Once again, it's kind of like a bit of a mixture, a bit of a utility kind of tree. focuses on like, you know, making your shields better, and like pain suppression is cool, reduces like how much damage that you're taking, as well as like threats. I played a bit of disc PvP priest back in 2007 TBC, and I felt pretty impossible to kill. It's awesome. Also, Divine Spirit is just a cool buff as well. So yeah, you can go for the light kind of stuff, or you can be a Shadow Priest, and Shadow Priest is all about kind of like a Warlock, kind of. You know, it is damage over time mostly. You get a cool thing called Shadow Form. Once again, do you want to watch me click a load of buttons while I get down to Shadow Form so I can show you? But yeah, it's all about like draining the enemy's health and like giving it to yourself. So yeah, it's kind of like a Warlock. You know, they deal in shadow. There's Shadow Form. Could I have my Shadow Form, please? There we are. There you go. So now that you're in Shadow Form, you're doing like 15% more damage. You're not doing as much damage, but you can't cast holy spells. So this is for when, you know, you're in pure DPS mode. So what is, well, yeah, that's kind of what the fantasy is. You can either be a divine healer or like a shadow mystic, I suppose. And yeah, those themes are really strong of like shadow and light. Healing, like I said, is just like the bread and butter of a holy priest. You will, in my opinion, it will always be the best healer. Like, though I'm sure, like mechanically, there are the ones that are definitely better. I also like a shaman healer as well, which we'll talk about later. But I don't know. I love priest. It feels so versatile. It feels like you've got such a great healing kit to manage most things. They're not a bad leveler as well. I think there's a lot of misinformation about their leveling because it's really consistent. Even in the lower levels, get yourself a good wand and it will just be a real cozy time. Or is it going to be as flashy as a rogue and a hunter? No, it's not. But it is consistent and it is pretty reliable. And yeah, if you're going to kind of play, you know, you like helping others, maybe you play like support classes in like hero shooters and that kind of thing. That's always been my kind of thing. I always prefer playing supportive roles. Priest is the one for you, man. It's awesome. I would give it a go. I think maybe they get a bit of a bad rap at times for just like, you know, because when you think of like a real world priest, you think of a man in a frock, you know, telling you boring things. But they are exciting to play, and you know, you've got that alternative as well, as we can see here, of Shadow, where you can do some pretty decent damage. And they are wanted, at least one of them, in a raid because they're an awesome mana battery. They have abilities to restore health and mana with the shadow damage they do. I am planning on playing a Shadow Priest in TBC. That was what I would like to do. So yes, come join the shadowy side, but the holy side is also really, really awesome to play. Warriors are rubbish in TBC, you'll hear everyone online say when you talk about potentially playing a warrior in TBC. I would say don't listen to them, because warrior is an awesome flipping class, and it's just like, it's a warrior. You're a big ragey guy, like a barbarian in D&D, who just wants to hit things and is awesome. I mean, should I say anything else? Yeah, I mean, I suppose I should. But yeah, they've got two basic, well, there's two things you can do with them. You can deal damage or you can take damage. And there's three specs, obviously, as usual. Arms is big two-hander, big crunchy, you know, big lovely crits. Mortal Strike is just awesome as always, and it's just really cool. I have played a few warriors in my time. They just feel great to play, and you'll notice if you watch people play WoW, like streams and stuff like that, and like hardcore and all of that stuff. There's been a few creators that, you know, who've not played like a lot of warrior, and then suddenly they fall in love with it because it just feels right. It's hard. They really got it right, I think, Blizzard. Rage can be a bit hard to come by at times if you don't manage it properly. It fixed a little bit in TBC. It gets better in Wrath and that, but just an amazing class. Fury is two-handed, so you're a bit like a rogue in that way, in that you'll be having 2 one-handers in each hand. That's all about, you know, you being like a, I don't know, well, like, yeah, a Fury Warrior, a Berserker. Really awesome to play as well. They put the Sweeping Strike's always there. Am I crazy? Yeah, well, like I said, you're not coming to midventures for like mechanical stuff, are you? And then Protection. Okay, Protection Warrior, in my opinion, is like one of the, I don't know, one of the nicest tanks to play. It's hard to explain. On lists that you'll see online, they'll be right bang at the bottom. I played a Protection Warrior in TBC back in 2007, and I continued to play Protection Warrior pretty much through all the expansions until I stopped playing retail WoW. They're awesome. They're great. They fall off a bit. I'm sure you've known if you played 1 to 60, like in terms of deep prot. A lot of people don't play deep prot. It was always like Fury prot, but you can go deep prot and you'll be an awesome 5-man tank. And you'll be an awesome 5-man tank. Obviously, people are going to bring you to raids as well. I'm not having this whole idea that, you know, people will just take paladins and like a druid and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. Find a group of people that want to play with you and aren't going to be bothered about what class you're playing. I'm sorry, I'm going on a bit of a rant here. That's what I plan on doing. If I'm just not, you know, if you're watching at this point into the video, you'll know that I am not a meta guy. I'm not a pass guy or anything like that. If you want to play a Protection Warrior with your big shield and just feel like an awesome Protection Warrior and just, you know, helping your allies out and just taking damage and just like shrugging it off, then do it. It's absolutely awesome. Protection becomes a little bit better, like Deep Prot becomes a bit better in TBC with like Devastate and stuff like that. They're just cool. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, it looks like a, I don't know what to explain. It looks like an anime character. Like all that colour and stuff. I don't even know. What are we wearing? We're wearing the bold set. Nice. I mean, if you want to look like this in TBC, and who wouldn't, honestly, then Roller Warrior. It's all about big hits. It's all about taking damage and shrugging it off. It's awesome. You just hit things really hard with big weapons, and it just feels great. Really good. And if you feel like, you know, like a sort of like a battlefield leader kind of fantasy, awesome. And it's just, you know, it's classic RPG. It's a guy with a big axe or sword, just, you know, bonking people on the head. Can't beat it. The Elemental Warrior, the Shaman, is an awesome class which becomes available also to Alliance in TBC, much like the Paladin becomes a Horde class or available to the Horde in TBC. You've got Elemental if you want to be an awesome Master of Elements and sling fire and earth and frost and whatever else. Pretty much anything on any kind of element you can chuck at your enemies as an Elemental Shaman. So yeah, this is your like your caster spec. You've also got Enhancement, which is all about your melee damage. Now you can play two-handed if you want, but I think most people will say play dual wield. Once you get the ability to do so. That's all about getting your Wind Fury procs, so you can hit things multiple times, and as well as working with your totems. You'll get many totems in TBC. You'll have to do the annoying water totem quest. I don't know if they changed that in TBC, but my god, in Classic it takes absolutely flipping ages. Or Restoration, which is the healing tree for Shaman. It's all about healing waters. You get some kind of defensive abilities like Earth Shields as well. Really cool feeling class. Not one that I played a lot of. I played a lot of it in Season Discovery, but obviously you can't really say how the class feels from Season Discovery because they're so different with you know, all the changes that they made there. But always fun to play. I was considering playing one because I've got a level 24 Orc Shaman, but I don't think I'll be doing that. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you want to feel like a Spirit Warrior, an Elemental Guide, just, yeah, really cool, really strong class fantasy. Like maybe one of the strongest class fantasies where they really just nailed it. I mean, look at this guy. It's awesome. So yeah, it's all about either healing, or throwing an awesome lightning bolt at someone, or you can get close and personal and hit them in the head. Bonk. Yeah, really cool class. I'm not sure how viable they are. Well, everything's viable to level, but you know how consistent they are with leveling. I know in Classic it's for one of those classes where you want to you play enhancement to level 40 and then elemental to 60 or something like that. That may continue, but I think they also had a little bit of a glow up in TBC as well. And yeah, if you're into totems, elemental warriors, all of that kind of stuff, and also you want to be a bit versatile, so if you want to do some damage but then you want to be a healer, man, it's the class for you. Well, there it is, Midventures' super quick and dirty and casual guide to picking a class for TBC pre-patch and indeed the full expansion. If you want more in-depth ideas on how to play the class, the mechanics of the class, just go onto YouTube. You're probably here now, I imagine, watching this video, and search for Class Picking Guide for TBC, and you will find a plethora of creators who do really in-depth stuff in terms of raid composition, how good are they in raids, mechanically, how do they perform and things like that. That's not kind of my thing here, so if you've got this far, I'm guessing you're either like myself, a bit of a casual player, or maybe a new player, and you're just trying to get an idea of what class to play. I hope it has been somewhat useful. I'm not about super in detail information about how to play a class. As you may guess from watching my playthroughs, I'm not really focused on that kind of stuff. But yeah, I hope it helped in some way. Hope you've all had a lovely new year. Expect more streams and videos in the future. Love you all lots. Thank you for the continued support. And I would like to thank Jamie Wow, David Nelson, and Kay Aside, my lovely members of the channel who have started to support me. Thank you so much, and bye for now.